Well, here we are. All right, folks, you know what it is. We're streaming today for one reason only. We're here to talk about the new Everquest time-locked progression server that's coming out. I told you guys back in January. I said March, April, May, we will see a new TLP on the forums. Staff members, insiders, they all said it's going to be later in the year. There's no TLP coming soon. I said, watch. When they say it's not coming soon, it just means not in the next month. That's all it means. If you asked 2 days ago, they would have said no new TLP soon. But now we're in the 1 month window. Suddenly there's a TLP on the horizon. And boy, is it a good one. My mind is blown. Absolutely blown. I never in 1,000 years would have said they're going to do a good rule set. And here we are, living in the dankest timeline possible. Corona's gone. Everyone's cured. New TLP. What more could you ask for? What's going on, guys? Good to see you. Big Ghastly, Randy, Sicarius, Hex, Arvis, Village, G-Dunk, Maggot Face. All you guys. I see Ansel in here. What's going on, boys? Big Slazik up there first. Sicarius, Beef Wellington, Shuck. Well. So I won't, take too long. We're going to talk about it a little bit. We're going to go over the rule set and see exactly what everything is going on here with this. But man, it is hype. Yeah, it sucks about the ads. I wish I could control it, but I have it set to the fewest ads possible. So any ads you see on this channel are strictly Twitch's fault, not mine. So sorry about that, boys. But hey, let's pop this up, man, and let's look at some of these newfangled rules. Looking good. Yo, Vicious, what's going on? Big Mabu in the house. All right, I'll just read this shit. Hail, Narathians. Fizzlethorpe, Bristlebane is gone. Actually, we don't care about this. May 26th. Mischief, the new Mischief server, May 26th. What do you need to know? Here's the rule set. Mangler EXP. Mangler EXP is just a way for them to say standard EXP. It's not slow. It's not fast. It's just normal TLP that you expect. If you log on to Agnar or Airdoon right now, you're going to get exactly the same EXP rate that you will get on Mangler. Basic, thanks for the follow. Rect, what's going on? ICM, Maggot. All right, so that's all we need to know right off the bat, right? The EXP rate doesn't suck. Honestly, I could do with like a slower one, but it's good. It's a good EXP rate. Agents of Change enabled, right? Of course. So instance raids. No brainer. Of course they're there. Pick zones enabled. Obviously, if they didn't have those, like 10,000 people would be in GFA and there'd be 0 mobs alive. True Box enabled. Sorry, boxers. You guys get to stay on Rizlona. I'm sure a ton of people will be coming over here anyway to fund their box armies on other servers. Free trade. Free trade enabled. Coronavirus rule set, boys. Probably the only thing that's not tradable is going to be epics and certain key epic pieces. But yeah, so, man, that's a big one. That's crazy. I think that's actually bad, but it's going to be popular, so whatever. Yeah, I always talked about the free trade concept in a server, and I said it would bring out the worst in the EverQuest population. I said it would be the worst thing ever. And I kind of stand by that, but having Rizlona out there and so many other servers right now will help float that a little bit. Some of the scum will stay on the other servers, and so we'll be okay a little bit. They'll still come for the launch, and people are going to have to deal with them. But coronavirus rules, which means you could trade anything, all that no-drop shit, tradable. Just probably not epics, probably not specific epic pieces, like maybe Monks, Rope the Lost Circle, that kind of stuff, potentially. Random loot enabled. This is the big one, boys. Random loot enabled. Some actual creativity went into this. The Mischief server is a new experimental server that randomizes loot. Rare NPCs will drop loot from other NPCs of a similar level within the same expansion. Raids will drop loot from other raid NPCs of a similar level within the same expansion. We may add or special case randomization. I hope so. Rare NPCs have a greater chance of spawning. That's a big one. So there's going to be a lot of loot on this server. Fucking lot, dude. Right now, Ansel, I think it's going to be here. I mean, let's just jump right into this, right? Let's talk about all the broken shit, because Ansel brings up good points. Is it going to be tier-based? Going to be bracket-based? The smart move would be to dial it in, but I want to say that from Daybreak or whatever, we gotten all the smart we could already get out of them. You know what I mean? Getting a good rule set is more than we thought we could ask for. So it is fucking hard to say that they're also going to make the rule set function well. Imagine if we had a rule set like this that was good, they made it function intelligently, and
The server had a clean launch. Imagine if all 3 of those things happened. A meteor would probably strike the Earth and just kill us all before we got to enjoy it. Couldn't happen. So I'm going to say it's going to be level locked within 2 tiers. Named mob, which is shit like Ifriti Lord, Ghoul Lord, Frenzy. Those are named mobs. And then raid mobs, which is shit like, yes, Finnegal, Nagafin, Vox, raid mobs. Okay, so if it's got Mitigation of the Mighty, raid mob. If it doesn't, rare mob, named mob. Those are the 2 tiers I expect us to get. And then after that, everything's going to be level locked. I'm going to go out on a limb and say 5 levels. For the most part, it's going to be 5 levels. It's just it's too slim if they go any less than 5 levels, okay? So if you go less than 5 levels, then you're looking at like 3 mobs in the fucking game can drop golden Ifriti boots. They may as well not even be randomized. You go 5, you get a little bit more breathing room, okay? So 5 levels presents some interesting conundrums, okay? So look at classic, right? Let's look at classic. Let me pull up some raid mob levels, make sure I'm correct here, boys. I don't want to lead you astray. Spyrock Lord. You know, the raid mob that you can spawn as many times as you want in Plane of Sky. 63. Okay. Pretty good. Sister of the Spire. 65. Okay. We have some options here, boys. We have some options here, depending on how tight they make these level spreads. All right? Because Khazak Thul and Inaruk are like both 70. If they make it 5, you can farm CT and any loot infinitely from Sister of the Spire. Everyone in your guild can have an Amulet of Necropotence. It also means that when you kill CT, you're going to get Brass Knuckles and a Spyrock Feather. Oh boy, that sounds good. No, it doesn't. But yeah, there's some weird shit. A lot of the raid loot from Plane of Sky could potentially flood the raid loot economy of raid mobs that you actually care about. And it's going to feel bad if they don't stop that from happening. You also have to look at Finnegal Atropos. What is he, 6-hour respawn now? Maybe faster? Maybe faster than 6 hours? He's 2 levels lower than Nagafin and Vox. I mean, the raid mob variance has to be a little bit bigger, right? Because if CT is 70 and Nagi and Vox are 55, then are you saying like only Nagavin and Vox loot is randomized? You know what I mean? I don't know. With raid mobs in each tier, I would almost argue that like for Classic at least, every mitigation of the Mighty Mob is just going to be randomized. Like you kill Nagafin, you could get Inaruk, CT, Nagafin, Vox, Dracolich, Finny, Yale, and maybe all the Sky Gods. Maybe you get all their loot. Or maybe they'll limit it. We're getting into smart territory here, which I think is what we're not going to get. But they might also limit it in such a way that it's like planar and non-planar. So you kill any, you could get any planar shit, right? Not counting trash armor, but any planar minis, Draco, CT, Plane of Sky shit. Any of that, all that stuff from the bosses. And then you kill Nagafin, you could get Nagi, Vox, Yale, who knows, maybe even like Magus Rokel, King Tranix. Well, I guess, I forget. They have, I think they do have Mitigation of the Mighty. I think the Fire Giants have Mitigation of the Mighty, so it's going to be weird. Veneral Sathir, yeah, level 55. He's lower than most of the Kunark shit. Also, another thing here, now you have to do your V-Chance Peak Key, because there's like 6 dragons in there with potentially good loot for once. You're going to kill Trachanon every week, and they're going to drop that piece of shit Hoshkar loot that you don't want, and you're going to kill Hoshkar, and he's going to drop Robe the Azure Sky and stuff. So, unfortunately, you do have to do V-Chance Peak. When we finally had convinced the EQ population, you no longer had to do VP. But here we are. It's a crazy world. I think the hate named are Mitigation of the Mighty. So they are going to count as raid mobs, which means you can get mini loot off other raid encounters, which I think is good because their loot is actually better than Inaruk's loot table. If it's just like Nagafin could drop Vox's loot, that's ridiculous, retarded, not fun, defeats the purpose. And then you got other things like way outside, like Aya Vishan. What is she, level 80? Is Aya Vishan 70 or 80? Either way, she's way up there. Let's check this out. 70. Okay, so yeah, so it's way up there. The raid mobs have to have a bigger spread. It can't just be like the 5 levels. But I think for the group named, because remember, this is all the way up, right? That means like Quillmane's cloak could drop from the Froglock Squire, or you know what I mean, or like the Ghoul Ritualist in lower Guck. Right? Let's look at what level Quillmain is off the top. I think he's like 30. Literally level 30. Okay, let's look at Ghoul Ritualist. 34. So probably the Quillmain Cloak could drop from the Ghoul Ritualist. An extremely rare outdoor mob that is a pain in the ass to farm, unless you know the specific way to do it, and you have a show EQ, or you have a bard and you still use show EQ anyway, because that's what people do. Or you could just go camp this really easy mob in lower Guck. So yeah, it's crazy. It's the Wild West. And all this shit's going to be sold all over the place. But I think what I would expect is for normal named shit, 5-level spread, which means anything within 5 levels of another mob is in a tier. You know what I mean? They just bracket them like that. Boom, boom, boom. And anything could drop it that is named within that bracket. Leok, what's going on, dude? Good to see you. Good to see you. And that brings in other things like the Dark Elf Mask, right? The Rubicite Breastplate. That could potentially drop from any named mob. And then, like, I don't know that there is a bonus chance for a mob to drop its own loot table. I would hope not, almost. But yeah, it's crazy. Like, you can get an FBSS anywhere. You could get a Quillmain Cloak anywhere. You could get what are some other you could get a yak. I mean, there's a relatively limited spread for yaks. Like, let's look. Ghoul Lord, Frenzy, King, Archmagus should all be within the same level spread, and a Freedy Lord Jarn. I think those mobs are all within about 5 levels of each other. So all their loot tables would potentially drop from one another. Hooded Black Cloak, Glowing Black Stone. Glowing Black Stone is actually a really interesting one because that's a really great item that drops from a low-level mob. So where are we going to see Glowing Black Stones drop, boys? What's the go-to farm location for GBS? Crushbone? Yeah, so I think 45 and up will be able to drop Jebs. Otherwise, it's just pointless, right? Because there's not a lot of other shit. Here's actually, stop the press. Stop the press. There's an even bigger implication here. You can get good loot that used to drop from Kedge named off of shit outside of Kedge. You don't have to go to Kedge to get your Squall Surge shawl anymore. So yeah, Befallen could drop Glowing Black Stones. High Pass, you could see Glowing Black Stone. Boys, SSF is going to be fucking bonkers on this server. It's going to be the best server of all time to do SSF on. The best server of all time. I can't wait. Anyway, will I play there? The question I see, will I play there? No doubt I will play there. Yes. To what level? I don't know. I've been really big into my fitness. I'm training for, some fitness events, and it's been intense. I'm training like 2 hours a day every single day. I was on vacation for a little while, so I wasn't streaming a lot. Also, I'm the kind of person, like, when I achieve a goal, I don't care about it anymore. I became a Twitch partner. Whoops. Now I'm like demotivated about Twitch because it's already done. That's my personal flaw. But yeah, I can't see myself not playing this because it's just too hype. The rule set's cool. Let me tell you this, boys. If you are on any other EverQuest server, you need to play on this server. You need to, okay? You don't get a lot of actually unique EverQuest servers. We're talking like 15 years ago, they did the Discord server. That shit was dope. Then they did the Mayong server, 5150. That shit sucks. Barely even unique. Then they did the Quorum server. Same thing. Barely even unique. But still all cool for a, dip your toe in, have a little bit of fun. All cool in that kind of way. If you stay on some other TLP, some Finny clone server, if you stay on Airdoom, you're doing yourself a huge disservice. Because 10 years from now, there's probably going to be 8 more Airdoom Finny clone servers, okay? There's probably not going to be another Mischief server. I'd like to say, hey, what if it's super popular? They'll keep making it because they want money. I can't even guarantee that logic is going to happen with this company. I just can't say it's going to happen. Hopefully it is. Hopefully that this is going to be such a smashing success that they'll make a bunch of more unique servers in the future. But don't count on that. So this is your chance to play this server while it's fresh. There will not be another chance. There won't be another one. There will be many more chances for you to do Classic through Planes of Power when you have you guys quit, including myself, on TLPs. So don't stay on your TLP server and miss out on a unique opportunity. You'd have to be an idiot to do it. So don't do it. Will I race? No. Am I going to do a guild? Yes. Probably. I'm going to do a casual guild for people with like families and wives and kids and jobs and careers and goals in life. And they want to kill dragons with their boys and their female friends. So that's the kind of guild I'll probably do. It's not going to be the old Zaide. It's not going to be like, hey, let's baffle everything. Certainly not. Certainly not, because I don't want to put myself through that, and I don't want to take the toll that would take on my professional life and my family life. But if you want to fucking raid with some dope people, have fun, and experience a cool rule set, yeah, I think there will be a guild like that with me in it. I think so. Do I think there will be a Mando, an SSF guild? Yeah, probably. It's just so crazy. Like, Mando, just like any other thing, right? Mando is a concept guild. Wow, Mando goes great with this. SSF, which, by the way, if you guys don't watch me all the time, you don't know what it is. SSF, solo self-found. It means you can only kill things while you're soloed, all that kind of shit. There's no better server to try this stuff on because it's just a wild card. You know what I mean? There's like 30 EQ servers right now. You can play SSF on them or Mando on them, and it's the same experience on every server. The only difference being like EXP rate, okay? Any kind of unique rule set you apply is better on this server because it's doubly unique. Like, it's just that good, man. You've got to play on it. You have to play on it. Let me see. Is my bot working here? Is my bot? I don't even know if my bot works. Guild. It does. Okay. So hit that Discord link. Join our Discord. That's where you'll be able to stay with all of our plans for guild nonsense and everything. Yes, there will be a casual guild for people who don't want to no-life it. I mean, if you want to no-life it, by all means. But I don't want to do that. Let me talk about like the no-lifing aspect, okay? So if I was going to run a no-life poop sock guild, which I'm not, don't quote, I'm not going to do it. Man, there's some problems. Because when you do one of those hardcore guilds where you just raid 24/7 all the time, you kill every target, blah, 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 it can be tough, man. It's tough to hit all those targets because respawn rates in the modern era are so incredibly fast. It grinds you down, especially guys who maintain like 100% raid attempts. I don't even know how they do it. And then you're doing Agents of Change on top of that. You're splitting your raid, going deep on splits and everything to maximize your loot potential. Now think about this. There's a ton of mobs that top guilds skip every server cycle, okay? Top guilds really don't farm Finny a lot. You really don't do Yale a whole lot. That's just classic. When we look into Valius, it gets bonkers. Like, how many times does a top guild kill Fadadar? You skip that shit all the time. But those mobs, the ones you tend to skip, tend to have really fast respawn timers. Woshi in Velius, Kelrek Dar in Velius, Zlandikar in Velius. Dude, these are mobs that you can one group and could drop like Vulak loot. I don't want to wake up at 2 a.m. to kill Woshi every night. I just don't want to do that. Yeah, like Hall to Testing Drakes? What the hell? Harla Dar? Yeah, man. Not trying to do that. So, I think it would be pretty rough to be in a open world like hardcore poop sock backbone guild because every target you miss is a potential huge disastrous, failure. Even in classic, man, there's some fucking dope loot in classic. Though focus effects, I assume, will be turned off from launch here, which is a mistake in my opinion. But like Bone Class Girdle, you know what I mean? Dude, you can get a BCG off Finny. He spawns every like 3 to 6 hours, man. No way. No way. I do not want to be stuck in a guild that feels the pressure to raid Finny every 3 hours for 30 days. Please, no. Please, no. But yeah, if the top guild is not that hardcore, you know what I mean? If they value their sanity, then the other guilds can snag some of these lightweight targets that spawn frequently and then get some real loot out of it. None of that garbage loot. But it also means, hey, when you kill Vulak, maybe you get some Wushi loot. Let's look. What level is Wushi? I think he's the fucking same level, man. Wushi 64. Okay, so no. The 5 Vulaks there are. Vulak is 70. Okay. So, who's Landakar? just off the top is Zlandikar, who takes 6 people and like 2 minutes to kill. That drops the same loot potentially as Vulak, who's like a 3-hour raid. Lotazol. Yeah, let's look at Lotazol. What level is Lotazol? All these mobs that you don't even know the level off of top of your head, you know what I mean? He's 60, so he's pretty lightweight by standards of Velius. Vindy. Can't type just Vindy in an hour. Vindy. EQ. Derrickor the Vindicator. Level 70. Oh boy. Vindy, who spawns every 6 to 12 hours, could drop Vulak loot. I can't wait. Like, you literally never leave Kale. Never leave Kale. Vindy can drop the best in-slot items. And he spawns every 6 hours. He could drop Dozakar tiers. Which, by the way, it's going to be pretty sweet trying to put those quest drops together. Dozakar tiers. Yeah, man. Just sit there all the time. I mean, what are you going to do? Like, is a top guild going to just poop sock Vindy 24/7 for the full 3 months or 2 months of Velius? Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about that. There's a special timeline. It's not even the normal timeline that we have to deal with for TLPs. Let's go back to the rules really quick. Unlock cadence. So this is the unlock rate. There's only 1 month of classic. I'm a big classic nerd, so I actually don't like this. 2 months of Kunark. I think I would flip that shit. 2 months classic, 1 month of Kunark, or just skip Kunark. Fuck it. But and then from after that point, they go to what they call the 2-3 release cadence. Which, if you've ever played deeper into a TLP, you'll know what this is. Which means if there's a level increase like Plains Power, you have 3 months. If there is not, then you have 2 months. 2 months. So Velius, 2 months. Lucklin, 2 months. Pop, 3 months. Eldon, special case, 1 month. God, 2 months. Elms of War, 3 months. Dragons of Norath, 1 month. Or 2 months, sorry. And so on and so on and so on. Zaide, do you think the amount of item drops will be based on how many items the boss would normally drop? That's a good question. There's mobs that have weird loot rules. Vulak is a good example. He has 4 separate loot tables on his person. Each loot table can call 1 item. Vulak never drops duplicates. How does that work with other mobs? You know what I mean? How does it work with Vulak? Does he drop 4 items from 4 potentially separate mobs and they can never be duplicates again? There's a lot of weird idiosyncrasies here. But yeah, I'm ready to get my Abashi and my Garns from Vindy, boys. Day 1, let's do it. Or did they fix Milas? I don't know if you guys knew about this, but until recently at least, Milas and Rev, you could infinitely farm for Sleeper's Tomb loot in Sleeper's Tomb. Oh boy, if he's still broken, you can infinitely farm him for any loot in the whole expansion. It's crazy. Crazy. And yeah, can you randomly get loot from warders that no longer spawn? You break the Sleeper, but all the warder loot still drops. That'd be pretty dope. People will be farming Velius raid mobs for like 12 months for no masks. It's going to be insane. Truly insane. What are some other crazy mobs? I mean, like, Classic, we have infinitely respawning mobs. I don't think we have any infinite respawn mobs in... I don't think we have any infinite respawn mobs in Kunark. In Velius, we have Millis still around. Lucklin. Servitor of Lucklin? Please. Please. Let's see. I think Anha Ra's like a crazy level. Anha Ra's like 80 or some shit, right? 66. She's a lower level than Kazakh-Thul. Jesus. She's only level 66. Steru is going to drop Aten loot. Why would you ever raid Vex Thal? Imagine that. You just like, yeah, I'm just going to sit here in Griegs and I'm going to do Servitor of Lucklin. I'm going to 90 split him. Jeez, what level of Servitor? He's 65, dude. He's 1 level lower. You could trio this mob in Aeron. He's 1 level lower than Anha Ra. Oh boy. This is going to be insane. Insane. What are some other dumb combos? I mean, like, Form Loot just drops from like half a plane at a time. And it's all tradable. Oh, dude. Get ready for this. What if the VP key mobs were flagged rare so that you couldn't charm gate them?
I don't even need to, like, do I need to say it, right? How about when you kill Tolapumj and you get your Ancient Jarsath medallion? Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Here's your Raz the Rat Miss Cash. I don't even know if I have it. It's not even active on the screen. You can't see it. I'm sorry. The Vadin, 63. Yeah, dude, so easy. So easy. He's within 3 levels of Anhara. There's no reason. There's no reason to go to Vexthal. There's no reason to go to Vexthal. Krychek, I would say I would expect them not to be. But history has shown the smart move isn't the move we always see. You know what I mean? No, I think it'll be 5 levels. I think anything 63 and up will drop Kadisha loot and vice versa. So you could get Vadin loot off Kadisha. Insanity Crawler. Literally, yeah. So I mean, like, you'd have to be dumb. You'd have to be dumb to go to Vexthal unless they tinker with this, which they will. They're going to mess with it when they see how heavily people game it. So they're going to take that aspect out of it. But I think that's a mistake for the record because I think it's really fun to mess with this stuff. But man, yeah, dude. Seru DZ, 5 mobs that could drop Otten loot. Elsie Akata sucks, yeah. There's basically level just doesn't matter at all in Luckland, and half the mobs will be able to drop Vexthal loot. But it does mean things will be diluted a little bit because you'll kill Otten Hara maybe and get your Doomshade shit. Or you get your Zelniak Bracer, that'll feel bad. So, I would expect the biggest shenanigans to happen during Classic and Kunar. I think by the time we get to Luckland, unfortunately, they'll have dialed it in a little bit so that they'll have dialed it in a little bit so that you can't exploit it so heavily. So they'll be like, oh yeah, Vexthal is just randomized with Vexthal, maybe Sra Temple, and maybe Seru himself. That's how it'll be. I don't think they're going to let you kill Insanity Crawler and get Ottenhot loot. Even though they should, I don't think they're going to do it. Mr. Styles, I would say yes. Technically, if you are fishing for a specific rare item, it is so much rarer than it used to be. So much rarer. And does the rarity continue across like FBSS? Let's just say FBSS has 5% chance to drop, right, off of Frenzy. Is it now 5% chance to drop off any mob? It can't be because it adds up in a weird way. It's probably like it randomly selects a mob and then it drops one of its items from the loot table or something. Totally crazy. Totally crazy. The randomness is going to be nuts. Hey, anybody looking for a static group? Your boy is LFG. People are talking about this on the EQ TLP forums, I'm sure. Probably a garbage discussion. If you want to see real discussion about this server, go to Fires of Heaven. As always. Let me link it for you boys. The real, unadulterated Everquest discussion always happens on FOH. That's where we go for the real information. Curse cycle, yeah. Dude, Ansel, I remember those Greek splits. That was so fun. Yeah, so I just wonder how rare it's going to be. Like when you're like, hey, I need a Pegasus cloak. Like, what do you do? We're going to it's going to be a weird mindset because you're going to find the easiest mobs, the most common rares in any level range. People are going to find out where those are. I'm talking to static for the new TLP, Roland, yeah. Yeah, Mangler EXP. So what was my time? Anybody remember how long it took me to get level 50 on Aerodune? Mangler and Aerodune are going to be identical. Let me see. Let me pull this up. Let me pull up the Aerodune news release. Everquest, Aerodune server launched. Aerodune and Rizlona are on the way. EXP. Gosh. No, they didn't tell us in this one. Oh, they just say XP. Okay, so literally in the Aerodune Rizlona news release, it said Mangler XP progression. So the Aerodune and Agnar EXP rate is identical 100% to the new server. We're just going to call this the standard EXP rate from now on.
which means 38 hours is what it took me to get level 50. Was it 38? I think it was 38 hours. I was the first 50 on Aerodune, and it took me 50 hours as the first, or 59 hours, something, as the first 50 on Agnar. Having to be the first person to hit max level on both of these servers. So I would guess with the Enchanter nerf, but more optimization, we'll see the first level 50. Depending on how heavily MacroQuest is abused and who comes out to play, we will see the first level 50 on Mischief between 32 hours. I'll say as fast as 32 hours as possible, and as slow as 44 hours. 32 to 44 hours. How could it be 32? So 32 hours would be the perfect group, does everything correctly. They don't have to deal with a queue. They don't get kicked out on zone. They have the ideal group composition. They get every zone first, and they don't get trained. If all those things happen, 32 hours is possible. 44. If the big boys come out to play and everyone is trying to get max level first for some reason, then you have queues. You have trains. Trains will just add a few hours right off the top. Boom. Just easily 4 hours added to the time if you have a dedicated train crew. Mid-rumble only. Since the launch of Aerodune, enchanters were nerfed. Well, actually, there's 2 nerfs now. One doesn't really matter. But first, the nerf that we care about here is that charm pets have been nerfed. So when you charm a mob as an enchanter, it doesn't do the same DPS that it would if it was not charmed. That's just it. I think it's like, 15 or 50% less damage. Now, keep in mind, the charm pets were like 3 mage pets of DPS before anyway. So they're nerfed, but they're still the best option. But it just means the optimal route is slightly less optimal now. And there's a little bit more risk versus reward. Or I guess the risk is the same. The reward is just a little bit lower. You know what I mean? Let's see. It's gonna be in the 40s. Yeah, they're gonna need 2 servers. They're gonna be a requirement for 2 servers, maybe 3, dude. Maybe 3. Oh man, so MacroQuest got open sourced this week, so we can also expect to see the highest level of cheating that we've seen in years and years and years on this server. More cheating than we've seen on any server since Fippy. I would expect warping. I would expect everything except for ghost kills to be on the table and abused. Chinchilla, what's going on, dude? Good to see you. Good to see you. Oh my gosh, yeah. We'll see T-staffs. We'll see T-staffs for like the first time on a TLP. Mid-rumble, it's not allowed, but they basically don't enforce rules. So, dude, they upgraded their servers 3 days ago, and the server went down the day after anyway. Like, you know what I mean? I don't believe about these server upgrades. That shit's a lie. They upgraded them to fucking India, where they're cheaper and have less support. Yeah, that's true. I mean, if you really want to go crazy on MacroQuest, you could crush every other group. No one could compete. Even if you took if we were somehow able to identify the 6 best EverQuest players in the world, you can't identify it because it doesn't take any skill to play EverQuest. Wah, wah. But if you were able to do that and put them all together and they didn't hate each other and they could play in a group and they had to play clean, and then there was another group of people who actually suck at EverQuest but are very familiar with MacroQuest and they use MacroQuest heavily, the MacroQuest group will beat the best players in the world. I'm going to say a clean 10 out of 10 times. If your pooler is just far taunting everything perfectly in sync, getting every mob solo to your camp all the time, no downtime, and nobody misses a heal or anything, you don't have to worry about sleep because your automated shit just plays for you. No group can compete with that. You don't have travel times. Everyone just warps to the next camp, the next zone. No one can compete with that. Hopefully there's some GM enforcement those first couple days at least, so there's a clean race, but I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't happen. Noob Cake, thanks for the sub, dude. The big 5 months. The big 5 months. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah, MacroQuest is big, dudes. The most we can hope for is just that we don't see any crazy macro quests those first couple days, or GMs are on hand to actually ban people. Like, the thing is, if you heavily abuse macro quest to win the race, there is still about a 24 to 30 hour window where the GMs could just roll up and zap you, you know what I mean? And you didn't win if you got banned at level 49. All right, I got PMs. Yeah, I'll check it. Secrets. I've been getting like 9,000 PMs since this shit popped off. Yeah, I mean, I like to race just to see what we could do, you know what I mean? I don't care about the loot. Savak, I gotta get you later on the King's Orb. I could press the button, it wouldn't pop up here because of the way scenes work in OBS. It's open source now. Yeah, I mean the leveling up race. I don't care about racing for raid mobs. Who cares about that shit? Literally, no one. I actually don't think anyone cares about racing for raid mobs because no one races for them on any server anymore. If you cared about racing for raid mobs, which is different than caring about killing open world raid mobs, right? I think a lot of people still care about killing open world raid mobs, but they don't care about racing for them. Otherwise, they wouldn't all be in the same guild, right? You'd have 2 guilds with 150 players instead of 1 guild with 300 players. But because we have 1 guild on every server, not pointing any guilds out, but on every server you have 1 mega fat guild nowadays, the Ultra Zerg with all the people. You just know that no one cares about racing. They just want to get the loot. That's it. It's a loot train. Unfortunately, the EQ population just doesn't care about shit like that. They don't care about like being in a Zerg. Everyone's happy to be in a Zerg nowadays. They don't care about who's leading them. You could be the biggest RM tier in the world. People will join your guild. You can be a compulsive liar, someone totally deluded who just makes shit up, the most crazy lies you could think of. People will join your guild. You could be a crazy racist and go on random tirades against your guild. People will join your guild. You can be someone who has a history of stealing the guild bank on multiple servers, and people will join your guild. I've seen all of those things. If you look like you're going to be the top guild leader on a server, which you could tell just by looking at the roster of people who are in the Discord, basically, everyone's going to join it. Doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter what you've done. Doesn't matter if you get banned every single server. People are just going to join it. It doesn't matter. It's not about who leads the guilds anymore. It's just about the cliques that show up in guilds. That's just the truth. And you guys, it's funny, if you've been playing TLPs for a long time, I don't even need to tell you who I'm talking about when I name each one of those people. You know who they are. You know who they are, right? You could be in a guild with someone who is going to quit after the first 2 weeks and take all the credit. I don't know who that guy would be, but you would be in that guild too if he was the top guild. Sorry, boys. That's just the way it goes. That's just the way it goes. I'm not naming any names. I'm not naming any names. But, you know, it just doesn't matter anymore. It's a game. People have distilled it down. People join guilds. They don't care about the guild culture and all that. And that's like really a topic for a different discussion. But people just want to play the game and get the loot with their friends. If their friends join a guild, they join the guild that their friends joined. That's it. No one cares about the drama. Well, maybe like 15 people on FOH, including me, care about the drama. Quits after 3 days. Dang, wrecked. I was talking about me when I said the 2 weeks, but yeah, 3 days might be more accurate nowadays. Vis just knows I have nothing but love for him, dude. So yeah, the server is going to be dope. If you guys don't play on the server, you're fucking crazy. You're crazy. You need to play on this Everquest server. Wherever else you were planning to do, WoW, who cares? WoW, that game sucks anyway. Don't play WoW. You're playing Dark Age of Camelot emulator? Screw that. I don't know what new single player games are coming out. Cyberpunk might finally get a patch that makes it not suck. Don't play that. Play this server. It's going to be the best server. But be prepared to not even be able to play the first week because launch is going to be insane because there's going to be like 50,000 people on it at least. And you won't be able to log in and you're going to zone and you're going to crash. So just start in a zone that has mobs you can grind for like 40 levels because you're not going to be able to leave the zone. So what zones would that be? Not Greater Fate Arc. Do not start in Greater Fate Arc. If you make an elf, you may as well just hit create character and then go to sleep. Wake up like after a small hibernation because you're not playing the game. There's like 5 races that start in that immediate area and they're all going to go to GFA and clog that shit up. You're going to be competing with the 9,000 Wood Elf Warrior weirdos who play that into all the high elves because people haven't learned to play Dark Elf at launch and you're not going to be able to play anything. So yeah, think about where you start. I tell you what, Big Zaide usually goes Dark Elf. Not this time, boys. Too many dark elves. Too many dark elves. My route has been revealed too thoroughly. You're not gonna see me there. You know where I'll be. North Kanos, baby, all about the fire beetles. That's right. That's right. There's gonna be me and 10 other people in North Kanos, and we're gonna level up so fast to 15, and then we won't be able to zone through the Karanas. Yeah, imagine getting to live just to get permabanned by abusing. What was the thing, Ansel? Oh well. Poor Reese. Is Reese in here? Shout out to Reese. He's been getting banned for like 2 straight decades. My boy Reese got banned in the Conquest days. He got banned last week for scamming a loyalty vendor. Big Reese, grandfather of the ban. Dang, dude, for real, how are you going to get banned in the year 2000 and the year 2021? How are you going to do that? Reese, I have nothing but love for you, but man, that sucks. All right. So who's playing? Chat. If you're going to play on this server, put an F in the chat. Go ahead. Put F. Let's go. Playing? G. Oh, no. Slazic's not going to be there. Oh, yeah. We got some people. Okay. So, let's do it. Let's make a casual guild. We'll just be casual scum. We're not competing with anybody. We're not going to be the best guild. We're not going to be the fastest guild. We're not going to be hardcore. We're not going to brag. But we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to get a lot of loot. And we're going to have no drama. So let's do it, right? We're going to do it big. Hey, let's talk about loot systems. If you run a guild, what kind of loot system do you have with this weird rule set? You could do something like your raids are all plat raids. People are like, I don't want to do a plat raid for my normal guild because I don't have a lot of chrono to bring to the table. And I know this guy farms chrono on every server and he's got 10,000 chrono and he's going to come and he's going to get all the loot and I'm not going to get anything. Listen to me. If you're in a guild like that, you join a guild that does plat raids, right? They'll happen on this server. You join that guild. You will not be able to get loot over the chrono at first. But they're going to spend a lot of chrono to get their loot. And you're going to get rich as fuck just raiding and not getting loot, which is honestly better than getting loot. You're going to get like hundreds of chrono doing plat raids while not bidding on loot. Because, hey, heads up, loot for like the first 10 expansions of Everquest just sucks and doesn't matter. Especially the first like 3+ expansions. Osiris, you get to join a casual guild. Absolutely. You've done your time in the hardcore realm. We can all kick back now. Listen, if you've done one Batphone guild, you've done them all. You don't need to keep doing it over and over again. Let me tell you, you could join a casual guild. You don't have anything to prove anymore, boys. We've all killed the dragons. You're a dragon slayer. I'm a dragon slayer. We could talk dragon slayer to dragon slayer, and we could be casual now. There's no shame in it. Okay? Put the poop sock away, flush it, put the Batphone down, kiss your wife, or start lifting some weights and find a wife. Okay, we can kill dragons and still have a life. 2021. It's a new era for EverQuest. Yeah, I mean, literally crushed Luckland content with like mage gear and leather. So the smart play is I think like a plat raid. But I acknowledge that 99% of people, without knowing anything about how it will go, will oppose that. So what if you did a loot system? Normally in guilds, you say, people can only bid on loot that they would be able to use, right? And then you have certain stipulations. Like, I don't let my enchanter bid on the Cloak of Flames, even though technically they could wear it because it's ridiculous to let them do that. I think you throw all that shit out the window on this. I think you do. DKP, open bids, so everybody can see every bid. You just put a timer. Okay, you have 40 seconds to bid on this item. Go. And people put their bid in the channel. You have a bot that automates it. And whoever bids the most, they pay exactly what they bid. And they get the item. That's it. Doesn't matter if they can't use it. Doesn't matter any of that because it's free trade. And it doesn't matter. You don't have rules anymore on a server like this. You don't make a rule that says you can't sell raid loot and arrow because that's a lot of guilds have that rule. My guilds have had that rule. Flush it all down the toilet. Every loot that drops from any raid is potentially chrono. So you just look at it that way. Someone could use it for chrono for whatever they want, or they could use it to trade it for other items that they'll actually wear. Just look at it that way. People show up, they get DKP for performing in a raid, and what they do with that DKP is entirely up to them, strictly their business. You just let it all be open so everyone can see it, so there's no corruption happening. But other than that, you can shut the fuck up if you lose the Cloak of Flames and you're a warrior and some wizard won it and he sells it EC Tunnel for 80 chrono and then buys chicken nuggets with it. a few weeks later. That's just the way you got to do it, boys. You can't worry about what other people get. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Dimitri, what's going on? Yeah, I mean, hey, that's just the way to do it, man. It's just the way to do it on a server like this. I think no restrictions on any item ever. It's free trade. It's free trade. The weird thing is when you get to epic items. So like there are epic items that are usable and arguably good in era. Like Eye of Innerlook, the hand for like the warrior epic from Plane of Hate, kind of okay. Some of that shit from the golems. I mean, some of it's not good, but people would still wear it because they're dumb. Like the ball from the golems, that 20-pound range slot item. Yeah, Pirate, that's the thing, is that it just doesn't matter anymore. Because you're not competing with other guilds. All that matters is can you kill the raid mob? And the answer really is always yes. If you fail to kill a raid mob in the first couple of expansions of EverQuest now on live, it's not a gear check. It is definitely not a gear check. Even Avatar War, you can kill basically naked now. So the only thing you need to worry about is like certain key things, which are usually epics. Like you want to have clerics that have their epic. That's it. Group gear is more than enough to get you through all the raid content for everything that people are going to want to play. Once you get to Gates of Discord, maybe you have to tighten up loot rules a little bit. But by then, most of the retards, no offense to my retards in the chat, but by Gates of Discord, most of the retards are out of the guild. They just quit because they don't like it anymore. And that's when you have to start worrying about loot and things. And even then, you really don't need that much loot to clear Gates of Discord these days. Captain, I am offended that you said I will be gone by Gates. I'll be gone by Kunark. I'll come back for the first week, get level 60 and kill Fardar, but I don't think I'll be around, you know what I mean? Week 4 of Classic, I don't think you're going to see Big Zaide up in Planet Sky killing Eye of Vishan. Gates of Discord is actually one of the best expansions in EverQuest now. Absolutely fire. One of the best expansions, no doubt. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, since you guys are all here, I think I mentioned this a couple months ago. You guys might not remember. I applied to the Guinness Book of World Records not too long ago. Actually, 20 weeks ago now, saying, hey, I would like to attempt a record. That's how you have to do it. You can't just like say, oh, hey, the record for pull-ups is 100 pull-ups. It's not. It's like 2,000. But if the record for most pull-ups was 100 and you just took a video of yourself doing 101 pull-ups and sent it to Guinness Book of World Records and said, look, guys, I broke the record. They say, fuck you. No, you didn't. It's not official. It's stupid. It is really stupid. That's just the way it goes. So anyway, you have to ask them permission. And it takes them 16 plus weeks to respond, minimum, unless you pay them like $800. So anyway, 20 weeks ago, I asked Guinness Book of World Records if I could attempt the longest MMORPG marathon record. There's a bunch of like little stipulations and stuff that go along with it to make it a little bit different than what you might just expect. Anyway, they finally responded and they said, hey, Zaide, sure thing. Here are the rules. I nominated the game EverQuest, so it has to be EQ. I cannot be away for more than 10 minutes per hour, but the 10 minutes stack. So if I play 30 hours, I have built up, whatever the math is, 10 minutes per each one of those hours. So like 300 minutes. So technically, you could actually work in some naps. You have to have a pair of witnesses which rotate every 4 hours for the entire marathon, and they can't be related to you. And then what else is going on with that world record? There's some other weird things. Oh, it has to be an official licensed server run by the company that owns the product. So I can't play P99, unfortunately, it just would not count. But yeah, so why not try to break the record at the same time that I'm leveling 1 through 50 without sleep? Just seems logical, right? Just seems logical. Yeah, Pirate VP is out on Kunark release. So are Epics. Day 1, you get all the full package of what's considered Kunark content. I don't know, CNN. I actually don't know if IVCN can drop anything now because of the way the level brackets work. Rev, thanks for the sub, dude. Much appreciated. That big 3-month streak. Yeah, Slavic. I think they said the witnesses do not have to be in person. So I think as long as I'm streaming it and I got all you boys in the chat, we'll be good. Now, certain members of chat who will be pre-selected will have to fill out a little journal, basically saying, hey, I watched it. It's true. Even though I have a video of the whole thing, you'll have to, say, hey, saw Zaide do this. It's all legit. And then I'll send it in. And then 20 weeks later, they'll validate it officially. In the meantime, you broke the record. You did it right. You're going to win. So the record is, the record is going to be easy. I'm going to say it's going to be easy. It's like, it's super dumb. You guys would be blown away if you knew how easy it was. I think it's like 33 hours or some shit for the longest MMORPG marathon. And yes, I know some dudes in China did like 600 hours or whatever, and then they had a heart attack and died on the spot. I know many of you have done more than 33 hours in the past. But like I said, there's this process. You have to apply, and you have to do it right for Guinness. Stupid, I know, but here we are. This is the world we live in. So I'm going to capitalize on this. I did the admin legwork. I'm going to break the record. And until one of you guys breaks it 10 minutes after me, for 10 minutes, I'm going to be the champ. Yeah. Unless we're 20 hours into the record attempt and the servers go down like they always do, and I can't play and it makes me go over my timeline, then you get screwed. So, yeah, I ran 100 miles twice. So how hard could this be in comparison to that? I think I've literally run almost longer than I have to play Everquest for. So it can't be that hard. Did I play Harpoon? I did play on Valinsec. I think it was VZ. I played on one of the Zex. It was not Ralisec. I played on the VZ where it was race based. Like I remember hating shorties. No, Osiris, it's locked to expansion, unfortunately. So you can't kill I and get, like, technically, just by level spread, Eye of Vishan is a higher level than Atenhavron. You could kill Eye of Vishan and get AHR loot from Vexthal if they didn't lock to expansion, but it says that it's expansion locked. Harpoon, thanks for the tier 1 sub, bro. Much appreciate it. Oh, hey, Big Reese in the chat. Yo, Reese. Sad that you got that banned recently, dude. I don't know if you were here when I talked about you a second ago, but I said you're the only person I know of to have been banned in 2 separate decades. My boy Reese got banned in 2000. Year 2000. He got banned in 2021. Oh, Gord has been too. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm going to have to bank up those 10 minutes per hour, Senyan, just to make sure that if some crazy shit happens, I don't lose. All the criminals in here. LOH Mass, they announced a new TLP, and it's going to be incredible. It's the first good TLP rule set we've seen in years, maybe ever. I'll go over the TLP rules really quick again for people who have jumped in since we started. So it is called the Mischief Server. It's got Mangler EXP, which is normal EXP, basically. Agents of Change, aka Instance Rating. Pick Zones, aka if there's 600 people in Guck, there will be 6 Gucks. Shoebox Enabled, aka you need 1 computer per logged in Everquest account unless you cheat, which there will be probably no enforcement of rules, so feel free, I guess. Don't really do that. I can't say that I'm a Twitch partner. Free Trade is enabled, which means for Ronavi loot rules, you could trade with anybody at any time with any gear, so you can get your nice Soul Leech, Dark Sword of Blood, and trade it to somebody. The only exception, which is funny, I use Soul Leech actually as my example right at the top. The only exception usually is epic items or certain key pieces of epic quests. So I don't even know if Soul Leech would be tradable, but all your planar armor and classic is tradable, and that's pretty dope. And here's the kicker, boys. Here's the big one. Random loot enabled, which means when you kill the Ghoul Lord, I get loot from the Froglot King or from a Free Lord Jarn. The random loot is split into 2 tiers. Raid mobs and named mobs. And then within those tiers, it's chopped up into categories based on similar level within the same expansion. So I'm guesstimating that it's going to be about a 5-level spread. Seems only fair. More than 5, a little crazy, with the exception of raid mobs because their levels are all over the place, and less than 5, largely pointless. So that's what we think. Senyan, oh my gosh, thanks for converting to that tier 1 sub, dude. Much appreciated. Yeah, I'm not hip to exactly which epic pieces are tradable on Fronovi. I'd have to, it's worth going to get a list now, but I don't know what it is. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of chrono. If you want to make chrono to fund your box cruise, this is the server to be on, boys. This is a server to be on. It's going to be crazy, though. It is going to be crazy. Thanks. The only question is 10 mages or 20? Venga. Yeah, right. What Swanee said, 25? How many can you get before your room melts from the heat your computers are generating? That's how many you should do it. Yeah, VS is weird. Veneral Satyr is weird. What about Faded R? C60? I think all the outdoor dragons are 60. Okay, now 55. So Phase 55, VS is 55. Sev, Tal, and Gore are 60, which I think means that all those mobs, because they're within 5 levels of each other, will drop the same loot table. I think every mob from 55 to 60 in Kunark will share a loot table, which means VS, Faye, Sev, Gore, and Tal. Royals do not have mitigation on the mighty, which means they will not be on this, which means that dumb shit mobs in Kunark you kill can drop over King Bathazid loot and shit. Let's see. Over King Bathazid. Oh man, why is there gotta be 4 different Over Kings? Over King is level 65 in Chardock. So actually, the Chardock Royals are the weirdest thing I've seen so far because they are high enough that I don't think any other named in Kunark really touches them. Let's look at Myconid Spore King. Myconid Spore King's 57. Yeah, so I don't think any other mob without mitigation of the mighty is close enough to be in that spread with the Royals, which just means the Royals like split with themselves. Right? Yeah. No, it's weird, man. VP is worth it. Tola is 60. Sebelite Protector. Doesn't Sebelite Protector have mitigation of the mighty now? Arc? I don't remember. It's been so long since I made it to Kunark. But yeah, Tola probably. Okay, so I mean, there's 2 mobs. There's 2 mobs that can drop Chardock Royal loot. But yeah, it's gonna be cool, man. VP is worth doing, yes. But at the same time, I mean, let's look. Silverwing. What level is Silverwing? All 90 Silverwings that have existed in Everquest. Mobs, 9 Silverwings. That's too many Silverwings. 65? Level 65, boys. So I take it back. Vishan's Peak is not worth doing. It still sucks. It's just rotating all the Vishan's Peak loot. Tracking on. I mean, track 66, right? Merbs 65. Yeah, dog. I'm gonna say that Kunark still sucks. Track spawns like every 15 seconds, especially if you're doing like the undead bard tracks. Does UDB even drop a single breastplate nowadays? They can't CNN because, well, I guess it's funny you say that. They do have mitigation of the mighty now. There's only one way to find out. CNN. We gotta kill them monk dudes, but they recently buffed them, so they do like crazy damage and shit. Echo of Sebulus. Yeah, Echo of Sebulus does a 2k area of effect that goes through walls. I think they made it so Echo doesn't spawn anymore because people were training him too much, right? No, I agree, Pirate. I love Kunark, but the raid's below. Yeah, group loot in Kunark will be where it's at. Well, you got to remember, LOH Mass, Plane of Sky can drop Cloak of Flames and shit. You know what I mean? You got to just think that whatever is the best raid drop, right? Like Cloak of Flames, Rune Bolster Belt, White Dragon Scale, Cloak, Bone Clasp Girdle, that dagger that rogues care about from Yale, and Loam Robe can all drop in Plane of Sky pretty much. Just guessing, right? There's a chance they'd make it not, but it would be stupid. So like the fairy boss could drop an Amulet of Necropotence. But yeah, you're gonna kill Nagafen and you get a fucking Spyrock feather and you're gonna punch yourself in the face. Server first Nagafen going down. Spyrock totem mid brass knuckles. Delete your character instantly. Yes, Osiris. Chain spawn Spyrock Lord and Sister of the Spire to farm raid loot. Correct. 100%. If they do not fix that by the time it goes live, people, you'd have to be retarded not to do it. Just get free. Listen, Dimitri, talking about them itemizing sky bosses instead of using the junk, that's a lot of work, man. I don't think they're going to do all that. Yeah, one time Faceless did a 24-hour Plane of Sky raid. I was like, we're going to go Plane of Sky and we're going to raid this zone for 24 hours. I forget what we did. So we did like the first 3 islands like normal. We got to Keeper of Souls. We just killed one to trigger the Keeper of Souls spawn. And then every time we killed Keeper, we would kill one more to start the cycle over again. We did a bazillion million Spyrock Lores and a ton of sisters. Every single monk in our guild got all their shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. It wasn't fun, but I mean, hey, you know, the terrible stuff is what brings people together. All right, boys, what should we call the guild? What should we name it? The name can't be too long. Otherwise, I would do like, I solemnly swear I'm up to no good. It is, man. You gotta embrace the sucks, Carius. Name the guild Zaide already quit. Looking for a guild leader. Want him by face. Zaide has left the building. I don't want to name it something faceless, really, because people will think it's a serious guild when it's a casual guild. It's very important to me that people understand that this is a guild for people who are specifically not trying very hard. People won't believe it anyway, but people are gonna be like, we're going on the server, right? I'm gonna play for like 3 days in a guild. I'll call it like faceless casuals. I'll advertise it as a guild that will be casual, will raid only in DZs, and 3 years from now, people will still be like, Zaide's guild got crushed on that Mr. server. They didn't get a single server first. I'll be like, yeah, but it was a casual guild. They'll be like, you suck. Remember that time you got run off the server by Guild XYZ in 2021? I'm like, but it was casual. It was casual guild, guys. Oh, it's gonna be just like that. So the name needs to be like, we're not racing, and Zaide has already quit. Real money transactions. That's a good one. Definitely not faceless. Yeah, Big Daddy Faceless right now on the Protoxylus server, by the way, has made it to live content. The first TLP guild in, what is it, boys, 14 years? 14 years to do it? That feels good. Mufasa, oh my gosh. Mufasa, Zaide, you look kind of smart and nerdy. Are you a seal? Sir, I'm not. Apparently, I would be much thinner and even nerdier if I was. I like the reference, though, dude. Casuals on record. Dude, we should call. No, I can't. I was gonna say we should call it like Navy SEALs. 3 Navy SEALs, the guild. I'm, honestly, just because I'm gonna break the world, potentially gonna break the world record for longest MMO marathon, doesn't mean I'm gonna race to 50. I might level very slowly to 50. Dude, I know Zavi would crush that shit. I feel like Zavi did like 80 hours during Kunark launch one time. Hey man, Reese, I don't make the rules. That shit is just what Guinness does. I'm just playing, man. Yo, Sever, what's going on, dude? Good to see you, Sever. Yo, you gonna come out for this new TLP server? Did you see the rules already, bro? What do we got going on here? Things popping off. I have 6 notifications on FOH. Shit. World's largest casual guild. That's what I should do. It just casual Zerg. No, Optimus, even bigger than that. Let's look at Lord of Ire really quick. Lord of Ire. He is level 55. He's got mitigation of the mighty. So here's what could drop. Here's what could drop Shield of the Immaculate. Any Golem, Draco Lich, Finnegal, any mini, Nagafin and Vox. Yale. What else? I'm missing something. I'm missing something really obvious and big. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Oh yeah, a bunch of Sky shit. Or well, the early Island Sky shit. There's something else big at 55 that could draw. Oh, there we go. Magus Rokal, King Tranix, Warlord Scarl. Yeah, Pirate. So there's a new TLP coming out with randomized loot. Yo, big Palmer in the house. What's going on, dude? Ankar, what's going on, dude? You guys coming out for this TLP? Coming out for it? Is 50 plus all grouped? No, it's not all grouped. You need raids for mobs with mitigation of the mighty, which is a buff on raid mobs, require a real force for the most part. I mean, Nagafin has like 120,000 hit points and hits for like 600 damage. Pirate, for reference. His AE does double damage, and he has an aura around him that makes all your resist go down by like 50 points when you're anywhere near him, even if you're hiding through walls and shit. So, yeah, there's a lot of differences on raid content between P99 and TLP now. Like TLP generally is easier, but they've done a lot to make the raid content harder. And I can tell you, I did early raids on Teal with Kingdom before the servers merged. I did the server first, Fox and Nagafin over there, and that shit was so easy, man. Brain dead, so easy. Like if we had done what Kingdom did on a TLP server at launch, you would just get smashed by those dragons. Like fighting them in the room, ridiculous. Oh, Llama going for the Channer. I'm ready, dude. Oh, yeah, Pirate, sorry about that. So the way it works is every named mob, like 1 to whatever level, has randomized loot. The criteria are you have to be close in level. We don't know what that means, but we're guessing 5 levels. And they have to be from the same expansion. So, like Glowing Black Stone could drop off Emperor Rush, presumably. No, Sifu, it starts at level 1. Sifu, thanks for the follow. They did not run around for 10 minutes with J. Putzark. Yo, Pamela, what's going on? Mortician's Crypt? No True Box. No, it's True Box. It is True Box. Well, that's the thing, Pirate. Actually, I think any particular item is going to be much more rare. You know what I mean? We don't know how the rarity of items is going to be, but like just imagine that you have no idea where an FBSS is going to drop. And every mob that could drop an FBSS has a loot table like 50 items wide. So the odds of getting the FBSS off of them, including off of Frenzy, extremely small. Extremely rare. It'll be interesting to see how it shakes out. But what it does mean is that people are... Actually, here's what I would caution you folks, man. In the old days when Chrono first came out on TLP servers, people would sell things like Flowing Black Silk Sash, which, by the way, terrible item. It's just garbage. So don't go crazy for it. But people would sell that shit for like 20 Chrono within the first week of a server launching. And now it doesn't really happen like that because people understand the value and the value trends of certain items. With the new loot system here, and no one really knowing how rare items are going to be, items are going to get jacked up in price early on again, just like that. Don't be the idiot who spends 100 Chrono for a Cloak of Flames if it's going to drop 40 times a day. In the beginning, you don't know, so don't spend the cash on shit that's going to be super common. You're going to be that retard who has to tell their friends that you totally didn't spend 20 chrono on a shiny metallic robe. Okay, guys, I didn't do it. Don't be that guy. But yeah, farming for a specific item, much more challenging. So you're just going to have to go to zones like Lower Guck is going to be just popping. There's so many named mobs. People are going to do AE groups in Lower Guck. People are going to raid Lower Guck. Let's see. I don't think the no-drop sky belts will, because the mobs that drop the sky belts, the low-tier ones, right, are some of the bosses. And then like the Pegasuses. But the Pegasuses are not named, so no other named mob will drop it, because it's not dropping off unnamed. And the raid mobs that drop it, like Thunder Spirit Princess and stuff, they have Mitigation of the Mighty, which means only other raid mobs will drop it, which means whenever you get one of those belts, it actually sucks. Like, you could kill Nagfin or Vox and get a 16% haste belt for your fucking monks, and you're just like, no, or for a ranger, 16%. And it's just terrible. So yeah, that'll feel bad, man. Honestly, there is more room for it to suck than to be good, I think. But I think the gambling aspect of this is really going to hook a lot of people. It's like packing packs in Magic the Gathering. Like, it is smarter to just buy singles and get the cards you want and build the deck you need. But you still buy the box every time a new set comes out. It's just so fun to, roll the dice, so to speak. Oh, yo, what about ground spawns, Brunlin? Yo, this is very true, man. Quests. Deepwater Harpoon. Yo, Hierophant's Crooks, right? Killed Eye of Vishan. Hierophant's Crook. Honestly, would be better than some of the shit you get from EOV. Seems that way, Gloat. I mean, like, only named mobs and raid mobs. So if it drops from a non-named mob, then it's not, though. Like, you're not going to get Spire Silk from a wolf. And there are some mobs that are not classified as named that drop rare shit. I don't know, like, it'll be weird looking at some mobs like Haddon. Is Haddon going to count? But anyway, I mean, I think we talked this one to death, boys. I think that's about it. If you guys want to join the guild that we're no doubt going to scam ourselves into running, feel free to hit that ! Discord in the chat and jump in there if you're not already there. No doubt we'll do a casual guild. Casual guild. No bat phone. Level fast. Kill mobs in instances. That's it. Casual guild. Jump in there. It's going to be fun. We'll think of a name and stuff. I might do some streams of me practicing for static groups. Who knows? On launch day, your boy will be there. Like it or not, I'll be running and gunning for 50. We'll see what happens. I got like 5 wins under my belt, or 4 wins under my belt on that, I think. So I want to add number 5 and be a grand champion if we can. I think that'll be a lot of fun. But anyway, wrapping up the stream, boys. It was good to catch you guys again. You'll see me again in the near future. I think I'm supposed to stream at like 8 p.m. Eastern, like 4 times a week. Yeah, I don't know about that, but soon.